Radio at 11:40 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
Just a remarkable comeback, stunning not only the crowd, but the 49er players and coaches. Meanwhile, a bunch of Cardinal fans have made their way down towards the area right behind the Cardinals sideline.
Rock bottom. Rock bottom. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes holding it down. No Whitey this week. He'll be back on Friday, and a good thing that he is off today. He probably got the Niners flu after watching what happened yesterday against the Arizona Cardinals. You're listening to the Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140. Take you up to 4:30 p.m. when we take you to the Saints Chiefs Monday Night Football. But I'm watching yesterday's Niners game, and it's going to be a Niners power hour right here. Because 2 weeks ago, when they lost to the Rams, I came on this very show and said, Niners fans, where you at? You can't be all up in my mentions when your team win. You can't be all talking Drapes. We better than your Eagles when your team win. I need to hear from you when you lose also. And what happened yesterday against the Arizona Cardinals, is rock bottom, as far as I'm concerned, for the Niners this season. You have a halftime lead over the Cardinals. You're dominating the game. You're up 23-10 at the half. And you don't score a single point in the second half? And I jotted down some notes. I got my boy Jay back there behind the boards. He's going to be chiming in coming up in a minute. I jotted down some notes about yesterday's game, about where things went wrong. And I'm looking in the first half. My boy Ayuk is looking like himself. We'll talk about him coming up in just a little bit. The special teams, which we've been harping on for the entire Kyle Shanahan era, comes up big. Elliott with the block, Lenore with the touchdown. But then it all fell apart. It all fell apart in the second half. Sure, Bosa had the nice interception. He finally showed up and looked good. But in the second half, the Jake Moody injury, Brock Purdy tip balls, the Jordan Mason fumble. It was a house of horrors for the San Francisco 49ers in the second half. And my question to you, Niners Nation, bang, bang, Niner gang, where's your level of panic? Yeah, Jay, you can't play that today,
I can
Jay.
play it, man.
Ain't no bang, bang, Niner gang. They quiet out there right now, big fella. They're licking their wounds. They're licking their wounds after what happened yesterday. And my boy Jay is probably the biggest Niner fan that I know. He texted me earlier today because we were talking about yesterday's game. That was a horrible loss, he said. No excuses on that one. And I'm with you, big fella. The Cardinals, as we had Rod Brooks on this show just last week, Jay, what did Rod Brooks say about the Cardinals?
They're trash.
Exactly. They were trash. This team, I'm talking about the Cardinals, weren't trying to win this game. But for the second time this season, I'm going to say the Rams game, and I'm going to say this game. The Niners fell apart. And as far as I'm concerned, Niners Nation, bang, bang, Niner gang, there are bigger problems. And this is a Philly fan talking. I witnessed it last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. I witnessed the Super Bowl hangover, if you will. And I'm starting to wonder, are the Niners suffering from a Super Bowl hangover? But it's not for a lack of effort. It's not for a lack of trying. When I watch the Niners, Jay, when I watch the Niners, my people out there, what I see is a team that's sort of losing the 50-50 balls, where momentum is going against them. And I'm going all the way back to training camp. with the Ayuk situation, Trent Williams, the injuries, CMC, the loss to the Rams, the loss to the Vikings, and now this loss. It's like the football gods are not letting the Niners get any momentum. 916-339-1140. That's how you can talk to us. 916-339-1140. What shocked me the most, Jay, as I'm watching yesterday's game, and I watched it on tape delay, if you will. I had a DVR'd, and so I was behind everybody else, big fella. I'm like, damn.
So you knew the outcome?
No, I didn't know that. I stayed off social media. I had no idea what was happening. So I watched the first half, and I'm like a half hour, 45 minutes behind. I'm like, damn, the Niners, all right. Defense making plays with Bosa's interception. Special teams making plays. The offense maybe not doing what they could have, should be doing, but they're up 23-10 at the half. They're in control of this game. Then the second half comes, and I started it like an hour late because I ran some errands with the kids. I'm out Halloween shopping. I'm like, they got this game. I'll watch the second half when I get back home. I'm texting with friends. They're huge Niners fans. They're like, did you see the end of the game? I'm like, no, I'm just starting the second half. They're like, all right, we won't tell you what happened. I'm not going to say any. This is what friends said. I'm not saying anything. And so in my mind, I'm like, damn. Did the Cardinals come back and at least make it a game? Did Brock Purdy lead this team on a 2-minute drive for a win? What happened? And so I'm watching the game. And I'm watching the second half. And it was a comedy of errors for the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy pick at the end of the game. Obviously, no Jake Moody, so that throws off your whole kicking game, your whole decision-making. You start going for it on 4th and 23 and stuff like that because you ain't got no kicker. I get it. You ain't got no kicker. I'm watching this game, and it's almost like not knowing the outcome of a movie, but you know damn well it's going to be a hell of a finish, and that's how it was. And so I'm texting friends, uh-oh, I'm nervous here. Uh-oh. What's going to happen here? And one error after another for the San Francisco 49ers. And as we talk about this game, I want to hear from Niners fans, Jay, because there's a lot of blame that's going around today. But the one person I won't blame, Jay, and you might disagree with me on this, I'm not blaming Kyle Shanahan for this one. I know you get salty over there about that, Jay. I know you're like, but Kyle Shanahan didn't have Jordan Mason fumble. Kyle Shanahan didn't have Jake Moody get injured. Kyle Shanahan didn't have Brock Purdy throw 2 picks. And people say, well, it was tip drape. And then the last one, they let the offensive line and the coordinator, they let the defense come through. No.
Shanahan.
This was on the players, Jay. This was on the players not making plays. Why was Brandon Ayuk looking like Jerry Rice in the first half, and then they couldn't get him the ball in the second half? Don't tell me Shanahan made some changes or something, went away from Ayuk. This was a lack of an execution from the San Francisco 49ers. And this is the issue I have with the 49ers. Nothing personal. And Jay, you tell me if I'm wrong here. And I said this to Nate before I came in here. The Niners don't know how to change the momentum back into their favor. When stuff starts to happen negatively, it snowballs. It goes from player to special teams to offense. They can never have everybody clicking at the same time. And what I saw yesterday, Jordan Mason coughing it up, Brock Purdy 2 interceptions, missed tackles. It was like when they needed to make a play, they could not make a play. And I'm talking both sides of the field. When they needed a touchdown, when they needed a first down to line up for a field goal, when they needed a tackle, when they needed a third down defensive stop, they just couldn't do it. And a lot of people will say this has become an issue under Kyle Shanahan. Fourth quarter collapses. But, Jay, you can't have the best team on paper. Guys just aren't stepping up, man. I don't know what to say. 916-339-1140, because when I watched this game, the Cardinals were ripe for the picking. There's no way this San Francisco 49ers team should get outscored 14-0 against what some say is a trash Arizona Cardinals football team, Jay. And I'm cooking right now because I'm upset. I'm upset because I've heard all season long, going back to last season, about how great this roster is, about how great this team is, how it's Super Bowl or bust, and they are letting this slip through their hands right now. Sure, there's a lot of season left to be played, but Jay, they're already 3 games behind the Vikings in the race for the home field advantage.
Means nothing.
What do you mean? Last year, it was like we needed home. No, because that's a weak division, Jay.
I'm just saying.
That's a trash division.
It's only saying
but you lost 2 games in that division. My question to you, Jay, is, and the people out there, is it time to panic? Meaning, you've lost 3 out of your last 4 games, Jay. You've lost 4 out of your last 6 dating back to the Super Bowl. Is something going on with this Niners team where, you know what? Something ain't sweet. Something quite wrong with this team, Jay. Where's your panic level right now?
You're probably asking the wrong 49er fan. And I've always said that I'm a little more even-keeled than most people when it comes to it. And I get it. My thing is this. There's 4 teams that are above 3-2, 2-3 in the league. 4 teams.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4 in the whole entire grand scheme of things. That means the Niners are pretty much right where everybody is. They're 2-3. Everybody else is 3-2 or 2-3. Guess what happens?
What happens?
If they play Seattle and they win, guess what happens?
What happens?
They're first place. Tied first place.
Well, we got to see what the Cardinals do, though,
Oh,
right?
man, ain't nobody worry about the Cardinals, man.
CJ.
But this the thing. You just said that the 49ers couldn't close it out and let it go and let it happen. I'm not Richard Sherman. I'm not the guy that's going to be on Twitter that's going to be talking about the season over and burning jerseys and everything else, because I'm looking at the grand scheme of things of what's going on in the NFL. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't come on here and say the 49ers don't have problems. Absolutely, they have problems. But that's why I said I'm probably the wrong 49ers person to 49ers fan to ask. So just as you said, 916-339-1140, please chime in on it, because I do think there are a lot of 49er fans who not only are unhappy, who are panicking, and who don't see the end of the rainbow and think they're not even going to make the playoffs, or they're not even going to have an opportunity to get to the end of the rainbow. Sometimes when you're in a bad division, it helps you out. Sometimes, as we saw in 1988 when the 49ers got smoked by the Arizona Cardinals, guess what happened? They won the Super Bowl that year. Sometimes when you play, when you have probably half the starters on your team hurt, not going to get the best team. Sometimes when you have a coach who might not be operating at the best of his ability, you go 2-3. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that's wrong with the 49ers, but I'm not panicking.
You're not panicking.
I'm not panicking.
But my guy, Lawrence Dubois,
panicking.
Drapes, been 49er fan since 1970.
Shots out.
And I am now in panic mode.
Why?
Because they're 2-3. They lost to trash teams, Jay. Look at the Rams. Rams ain't beat nobody since.
True.
Look at Arizona. We just called them the Cardinals trash last week.
We
even had their columnists come on and say, what the hell? I forget our guy boy's name.
They stink right now.
Exactly. The Niners are making these teams get right and making these teams look better. And here's the thing, Jay, to your point. I get it. You're not worried yet.
No.
You're going to make the playoffs. You'll probably win the division.
I think so.
But your road to the Super Bowl is getting harder with each loss, big fella.
But Drapes, I've said this, and I don't think you weren't here the week I was saying this, because Whitey came in and he was panicking. This is my point with the 49ers. The 49ers have finished first and gotten a home bye, have they not?
Yes.
Did they win a Super Bowl?
No.
Okay. The 49ers have won the NFC West, finished second, third, and fourth. Have they won a Super Bowl?
No.
All right. They've been a wild card. Have they won a Super Bowl?
All right, I hear you.
So my point is, I don't care what people believe the 49ers got to do. How about win a Super Bowl? And that's the thing. This story is still not told yet. And absolutely, we understand the greatest book is what? Has ebbs and flows, ups and downs. Most people like thrillers. A lot of people like horror films. People like action, right? Yeah. More times than not, we watch entertainment because things just don't go as planned. How boring would it be for everyone to be like, you know what? They won 17-0. They won a Super Bowl. It'd be boring to you. Would it not? Would it not?
But hold on, Jay,
I'm
stop
just saying,
that.
Man.
Don't put on your radio hat right now, big fella. We're talking you as a San Francisco 49ers fan. You can't walk on in here and be all positive. Everything's going to be okay. Ain't no need to panic.
So what you want us to throw it? You want us to panic and then you allow everybody else to see weakness?
See, this is now you're getting to the point.
See
right
what I'm
here.
saying? Like the 49ers have already showed weakness.
I want 49ers fans to show us their passion. Like
that's different.
No, let me ask you this, because you texted me. This is what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up, Jay, and I'm gonna read the receipts right here.
Please do.
You said that was a horrible loss.
Terrible loss.
No excuses.
There is no excuses.
For that.
But have I given you excuses why they lost yesterday? I've yet to give you one. I've given you the reasons why they shouldn't panic. That's the question you asked me. Now, if we're talking about yesterday, then yeah, Purdy wasn't at his best.
Yep.
I'm going to say it again. At some point in time with this team, we have to start to look at why this team is always injured.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the coach, the regimen, the people, the places, the airfare. I don't know. I mean, the airplane they driving on. I don't know if it's the diet. I don't know if it's being in the Bay Area. I don't know, Drapes. There's no excuse to that. You can't continue to have half your team out. Like Hufanga comes back, then he hurts his wrist.
He gets hurt again. Yeah.
Now we putting a rookie safety back there. I have no clue what's going on with a lot of guys being injured all the time.
Let me
I'm not giving no excuses why they lost yesterday.
Yeah.
Horrible excuse.
You can't, right? I mean, they just didn't play well, especially in that second half.
They didn't score, man.
They didn't
Guess
score
what?
in
They
the
didn't
second
even
half.
punt in the second half.
They didn't even
and they
punt.
didn't score.
The turnovers.
What is that about?
But Jay, real quick on the injuries, and we're going to talk a little later about that. But the Hufanga injury, it's a wrist. It happens during the game. The Moody injury, it happens in the flow of the game.
Got it.
And I know you've gone on record as saying, you know, what's going on with the medical staff, whatever it may be.
Whatever.
But these are things that happen
all the time. Hufanga's been hurt he's had 3 different injuries in 5 weeks.
This is, I hear you on that, but this is what I'm talking about. And we're going to get into it next segment, why this season is quote unquote weird, if you will. It just seems like every time the Niners are set to take a step forward, something knocks them back. And I look at what happened to my Philadelphia Eagles last season. And so far it's different. I'm not necessarily saying it's the same exact thing. But the Eagles were not clicking on all cylinders right from week 1 last season. They were winning games, but they weren't playing well. The Niners aren't playing well and losing games. There's something that's called momentum. And I just feel like with this Niners team, the vibes just seem to be off. The mojo is off. It's like the effort I feel like is there. I'm watching them. I'm watching Bosa try to fly around and make plays. I'm watching J.P. Mason running like his life depended on it. I'm watching Brock scrambling around looking like Randall Cunningham yesterday. They're trying to make plays, but for some reason, it's just not working. And when I say, is it time to panic, San Francisco 49ers fans? When is the point coming, Jay, where you just say, damn, we're snake bitten this year?
I told you.
Something just ain't right with this team this year.
I told you. When it comes to the bye week, that's when, if they're not in a position to where they can jump up and catch whoever's in front of them in the NFC West, if they are 2-3 games and you come into week 10 and you pretty much have to rattle, like go 5-2, 6-1, then that's panic time. As I've said, the reason why there's no panic for me is because the NFL is not outstanding. There's a lot of people who you look around, and I mean, you look around, it's like, even for the Eagles, are you really that scared of Washington Commanders if they win a division? Like, you're not, man, we're going to Washington to stop a rookie quarterback. That's how you're supposed to feel. And so that's what I'm saying. I've been on record. Come week 9, if the Niners are 5-4, 4-5, 3-6, and they're going into the bye week and they pretty much got to rattle off 5 wins, yeah, I'm panicking. Right now, quarter of a season, brother.
I hear you, but this is supposed to be the easy part of your season, bro.
I understand.
You've beaten a trash Patriots team, probably the worst team in the league.
It is.
And a Jets team that's garbage too.
Yes.
Your 2 wins are against garbage teams. And here's the thing, Jay. If I'm a Niners fan, at Seahawks, home against the Chiefs.
Good
Chiefs,
team.
Cowboys.
Average right now.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Dallas is not average.
Dallas better than you right now.
But that means they're average. The Niners are very average.
At Tampa. Don't tell me Tampa's average.
Good squad. I told you where I see them at.
Home against the Seahawks.
Average.
At Green Bay.
Average right now.
At Buffalo.
Good.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
You got 3, 6, 7 games where if you're playing this kind of football,
you ain't going to win.
You 3-4.
I'll just start with the injuries, though.
Don't get that, Jay. I can't entertain that, big fella.
I got you.
Because every team is dealing with injuries.
Not like them, no.
My Eagles, their 2 starting wide receivers are out.
Totally
big fella.
get it.
You know what I mean?
Tight end, out. Offensive lines, out. Your kicker, out. Starting safety, out. Linebackers, out. Started the season, out. Wide receivers, out. I mean, we could continue to this. Like, there's a lot of missing parts. One thing about the 49ers there we keep all saying is they got the best roster in the league. Well, we ain't seen it yet. It's kind of like the Kings conversation. If they can all come together and play, I'd love to see what they're made of. We just ain't really had the opportunity to see that at some point in time. Now, that's not an excuse. What I'm saying with the 49ers is they're in trouble. They're definitely in trouble.
Okay.
But at the same time, Seattle supposed to be great. They right in the same boat as we. Are they not? Yeah. Are they not?
Jay,
did they not just lose to a terrible
So hold up,
team?
Jay. Is that what Niners fans are doing right now?
Well,
at least we're better than Seattle. At least we can beat them or something.
So
Come
what
on
are you
now.
So what are you Drapes? So I'm supposed to accept, that's why I said I'm the wrong 49er to talk to. Now, when they call and get on the line, please let them be. If Whitey was here, I guarantee he'd be saying something completely different. He'd be over there twiddling his thumbs, probably panic. What I'm saying to you is, when I sit down and I looked at it, I looked at the standings. 4 teams in the league have a better record than 3-2. The Niners are 2-3, 1 game away, including everybody in the NFC West. And as you said, the NFC probably looks that bad. But have you seen some of the other divisions? Guys are leading divisions at 2-3. Like, the 49ers have an opportunity to try to wade through the water of being average. As I said, when you look at week 9, that's the bye week.
Yep.
If you lose to Seattle, if you lose to KC, which you will playing like this, if you lose to Dallas, which is still a coin flip, they haven't been impressive now, then that's where you start to panic. At Tampa, then play Seattle, then Green Bay. Like, yes, I get it. You're going to that bye week 500 big time, you got shot. Like, who is scared of what Miami's doing right now? Are you scared that you can't beat the Rams after you pretty much beat them? Like, they have an opportunity. Tennessee,
Jay,
Vegas, Arizona again.
You know what this sounds like, and you my guy, Jay. You know that. You my guy. But this sounds like, you know what? Just a little stove fire. I'll be able to put that out. It ain't nothing.
Maybe.
I'll throw some water on it. It'll be okay. Then all of a sudden you look and oh snap, the whole house is burning down. And I'm not the only one that feels this way, Jay.
Of course not.
You got fans. My guy Amadrock, 49er fan here. I'm starting to think the team is in trouble. The team can't get any traction.
I just said that. But that's not panicked. They're in trouble. Panic is, oh my goodness, we're not going to get it done. It's like, nah, we still got opportunity. Call me in the middle of the season. I just said that's me. There's a lot of people who feel different, who, to me, as competitors, that's why they lose. I'm not going into anything giving anybody an inch, believing that you guys are better than me. I don't care if we won at 12. Now, panicking is different compared to we in trouble. Different. Definition is different. I looked it up because I already knew where this was coming today. I already knew where this was coming.
And don't even, no, but Jay, here's the thing. This ain't a Drive Guys conversation.
Sure.
This ain't a Drapes conversation.
Sure.
It should be a Niners conversation. What happened yesterday has dictated how we start this show. 916-339-1140. I want to hear from you, Niners fans, because y'all always quiet after a loss. Crickets. But as soon as y'all win, y'all in my mentions, you're on my timeline, y'all making videos. Where you at today? What's going on with this team? It's the Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
They really in your mentions?
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's the Big Sky home opener for the Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday. 6 p.m. kickoff versus Eastern Washington. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Did you know that your largest investment asset might not be your retirement account or home? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. Most people don't realize that their life insurance policy is actually an asset they can sell. But for almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. We've even created a free policy value calculator at abacuspays.com so you can find out in seconds what we might pay for your policy. There are no fees and no obligations, just information. Knowing the value of your life insurance policy is as important as knowing the value of your home, your equity portfolio, or your finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free policy value calculator today.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports. Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist?
You don't say.
Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Get ready to hit the gas on the best power tool deals of the year at Fasteners Tool Outlet. We're revving up the savings with our full throttle one-day DeWalt sale in Sacramento on October 12th only. We are slashing prices on a huge selection of DeWalt power tools like cordless drills, saws, combo kits, and more at costs you won't believe. Get better tools for better prices only at Fasteners Inc., Sacramento's top destination for DeWalt tools. Again, that's October 12th only on Power Inn Road. For more info, go to fastenersinc.net.
Made a Chevy Silverado blowout is on with $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2024 Silverado half-ton LT in stock after rebate, or choose $12,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 Silverado half-ton RST in stock after rebate. Exclusively at Made a Chevy at MadeAChevy.com, Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Made a Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. List rate 2010 model year or newer. Ends 10/31/24.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Sounds like you heard about our Mobile One giveaway. Right now, you can get a free Red Bull Racing sign when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 motor oil. And you can enter to win a signed undershirt from F1 champion Max Verstappen. Find Mobil 1 at any one of our 6,300 stores or on AutoZone.com. Ends November 18th. No purchase necessary for giveaway.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
See AutoZone.com for details.
Autumn is in the air, and like the leaves, prices are falling at Harbor Freight's parking lot sale this weekend. We've got tons of products on sale, like 3-ton jacks for under $100, 5,000-watt generators, $250 off, plus dual bevel miter saws at nearly half the price of the competition. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 10/13/24 while supplies last. So hurry in. Limitations apply.
I think we had 13 points and 17 in the other. By no means should we be able to give that away. Always will come back to turnovers, in my opinion. There's other things you can do to overcome them. Talked about last night how we thought a key in this game would be turnovers, and that's exactly what the first half was. Gave us a huge advantage, and then it flipped in the second half, and when you do that, it's tough to win.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Drapes and Jay holding it down here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. That was just Kyle Shanahan after yesterday's shocking 24-23 loss to the trash Arizona Cardinals. They made Kyler Murray look like Randall Cunningham out there.
What I always say.
You say that, those quarterbacks. Yeah.
What Kyler got with the Niners.
What do you think about that 50-yard run he uncorked that he celebrated at like the 40-yard line? He was like...
Hey, if Kyler can, the tough part with Kyler is if he can cut down on his mistakes, he'd be. I mean, remember, I won't say a few seasons ago because it feel like 4 or 5 seasons now, but they were 7-0 at one point in time, 8-0. Remember, he was leading MVP race. He's got talent. He just makes some bonehead mistakes sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But he led them to a shocking come from behind win, outscoring the Niners 14-0 in the second half. We'll talk about the offense coming up in a minute because all last week we talked about the moves they need to make. Should they get Devontae? We're like, nah, the offense is fine. Well, the offense only scored 1 touchdown. And that's been a problem with this offense so far this season. It's unable to cash in. Instead, they settle for field goals, settle for 3 of them yesterday. And the defense, played extremely well. I thought in the first half, special teams got him a touchdown as well, but the offense was missing MIA. Here's somebody from the 707. And, we're talking, is it time to hit the panic button? What's going on with this team? I'll get to the phone calls coming up in a minute, 916-339-1140. But from the 707, I believe there's something amiss in the locker room with the Niners. All the finger pointing and blaming. There's something wrong in the locker room. By the way, did Deebo Samuel play yesterday? That's what you get when you force feed Ayuk. Everyone else suffers. Got problems in the locker room. Look at Jay about to chime in. He hearing it. You believe it's a bigger issue at hand than just losing football games?
I'm not sure yet, Drapes, to be honest. I think there are enough fringe and surface excuses for the 49ers that they're looking at that I believe they haven't looked that far internally yet. When it comes to the team itself, and I only base that off of, and I don't disagree with who was that? Who just
somebody from the 707?
From the 707 said backwards. I just when you hear the team talk, I think they haven't looked internally that far and to see like, it's a problem in here. I think the guys have pretty much said, listen, we're not playing the best that we possibly can play. And then you also look around and hear guys where it's like, we got to get it together. Most of the time, most of these guys post, and we'll play some of that, of course, today throughout the entire week.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are kind of doing what you're saying, Drapes, is some guys just need to play better. It's not on Kyle Shanahan, it's on the players.
Right.
And I think a lot of the players is kind of echoing what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to get to the phone lines coming up in a minute. But first, I'm not the only one panicking. I'm not the only one saying, the ship be sinking. Still a lot of football left to play. But at 2-3 against a soft schedule, should Niners fans hit the panic button? Well, one former Niner, Richard Sherman, He's all code red right now. Here's what he had to say after that loss yesterday.
My panic meter's at a 10. It's at 11. It's panic mode because these are two unacceptable division losses to the bottom dwellers of your division. This team here just coming off a 28-point drubbing to the Washington Commanders, and you're like, hey, we should be able to look at that tape and find answers and be able to win this game. But you're not. You're not winning this game, and you're the more talented team walking into the stadium each and every time. And you could talk about the injuries. You could talk about the heat. We can make excuses, but these are the games you got to dominate, and they're not dominating. I mean, out-coached them, outplayed them, out-efforted them, outran them. It's tough. It's tough to watch. It was tough to watch this game, especially in the second half. Brandon Ayuk finally gets to shine, but now we turn the ball over 3 times. You know, it's like you fix one problem, something else breaks, and that seems to be the luck of the draw this season with the San Francisco 49ers.
And so that's Richard Sherman's take. And the part
he
that
wears a Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why he's wearing the Seahawks hat and everything, talking about the Niners. But something he said stood out to me. When he said, you fix one thing, then something else breaks. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like one guy makes a mistake, then another guy makes a mistake. One guy gets a penalty, the next guy fumbles the football. One guy misses a tackle, Brock Purdy throws an interception. It just seems like something's off with this 49ers team. And Michael Silver, who writes for the San Francisco Chronicle, great columnist down there, he talked to some of the players yesterday. And he said, whatever's going on, something is off. He said, he quoted Charvarius Ward, this year for sure, it feels weird. It feels real, real weird. I mean, hopefully it'll turn around, but it's just real peculiar. We've got a lot of talent, and we're losing games we're supposed to win. That's Charvarius Ward saying that. Diamador Lenore. Yeah, losing to Arizona, it does feel weird. In my 4 years here, we don't do that often, so I can agree with that. Kyle Juszczyk. You tell me we block a field goal for a touchdown, we're winning that game. I mean, it's weird. It's not like everything's fine, but it's also not like the world's crumbling. And my point about this, as we get ready to get to the phone lines, 916-339-1140, is sometimes the effort is there. You could play your butt out, but the ball just doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes you got the great game plan. The X's and O's are perfect, but it's just not your day. And it feels like from the start of training camp to now, this team is scuffling. This team is in the mud. This team is in the quicksand. And they're trying to salvage things. They're saying the right things. They're doing the right things. But when it comes time to executing, they're struggling. Now, this ain't a 2.5-hour drive, guys, where you guys just listen to Drapes, the Eagles fan, because I don't want to be that guy. I need to know what Niners fans really think about what's going on with this team. Let's get to the phone lines, Jay, 916-339-1140. Let's start with Mike on line 1. Mike, you're on with Drapes and Jay.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Yeah, I think Shanahan has lost the team, actually, and I heard a lot of that yesterday. It's just his play calling, just the decisions he made last year, the decision he's making this year with the team. Last year, they don't sign Bosa. Takes them forever to get started. They should have signed Ayuk and Williams earlier, got him into camp and got him ready. They signed CMC. He's hurt, and you signed him to a contract. Why? You should have waited. Make sure he could play. Save that money. Go out and get somebody. Then last year, they're blowing teams out, and they got McCaffrey in the game still running the ball. They're beating the kid up. They're wearing him out. You look at all the people that Shanahan's gotten hurt by running them too much, whether it was quarterback calls that he made for his quarterbacks, running up the middle, and then he just kept running McCaffrey all year last year. When the games were over, he should have been resting him, giving him time.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for the call, 916-339-1140. Jay, you buying that? Shanahan overworking guys? Or a lot of people are pointing the blame at Shanahan. I said in the first segment, I don't think it's his fault. Like, I'm not a Shanahan guy, but J.P. Mason got to hang on to that ball, big fella.
Very true.
You know what I mean? And I understand Brock Purdy, we could talk about his game, and you mentioned it earlier. Brock deserves some of this blame, fellas. And I know, he's a good quarterback. I'm not saying, see, I told you, it's not about that. But he has to be better, Jay. 19 of 35, 244 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, a 62.1 rating.
Yeah. That's not good.
It's not good.
No.
It's not good.
And Drapes, there's a difference. And I hate that we even have to say this, and I think that's kind of where you're getting to.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. We don't need to continue to talk about, like if he has one bad game, the sky is falling. He had a bad game. He didn't play well. There's a lot of QBs who didn't, and they deserve the flack just like he deserved the flack. Sometime when, as 49er fans, and I'm not saying all 49er fans are this way, as NFL fans, I'm not saying all NFL fans are this way, but the Brock Purdy apologists have to get out of their feelings and understand he has bad games too.
Yeah.
And when you call him out on having a bad game, doesn't mean that we're saying he's a bad quarterback. Dude is good. Dude was a Pro Bowler.
Right.
He's all pro. He was third in MVP voting last year. He was at one point in time probably leading, going back and forth. Who knows? I think if they would have beat Lamar and them, he probably wins the MVP last year. Lamar, pulled it out.
Yep.
With that being said, he had a bad game. He did. He didn't lead his team to victory. He had opportunities. He had chances, and he didn't get it done. And just like I get on here and talk about Joe Burrow, just like I get on here and talk about guys who don't get it done, he didn't get it done yesterday. And we got to call it like we call it.
And he didn't get it done. And I'm not going to blame, obviously, the J.P. Mason fumble on him. But at the end of the day, he didn't get it done. At the end of the day, your team did not win the game. And here's what I saw from Brock Purdy yesterday, Jay. And to me, and I was telling Nate this beforehand, last year, Brock Purdy had the 8th most batted balls in the NFL. Brock Purdy played 16 games last year. 5 of the top 7 guys in terms of batted balls last year, they played 17 games. So they had more games. What I saw second half, because Brock has been phenomenal, I thought, going into, I think, only 3 batted balls through the first 4 games. But for them to get their hands on 2 balls, both leading to interceptions, if you will. Well, the last one, he sort of got hit while he was throwing it. But his first interception was a batted ball. That, to me, is an issue. That, to me, is a knock on Brock Purdy that I want people to pay attention to going forward. It sort of reminds me of that midway stretch last season when they lost to Cleveland. And Brock, at that point, had a few balls batted down. He has to be better. We can't say, oh, well, that interception was a tipped ball. Well, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And I know he's not a 6'4" statue out there, but he has to be better. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll get back to your phone calls as well, 916-339-1140. Is it time to hit the panic meter? Who's to blame? I want to hear from Niners fans. You're listening to The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
It's the Big Sky home opener for the Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday. 6 p.m. kickoff versus Eastern Washington. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
DC here for Folsom Lake Kia, where they make car shopping easy with a huge selection of new Kia models, low payments, and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, your trusted dealer in Folsom for over 25 years. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
We just need to play better, and that starts with myself. Get down in the red zone. We got to execute and score touchdowns. There was multiple times where we could have pulled away significantly in the first half. And again, that starts with myself. And so there's that. And then second half, when defense is getting stops, we can't just turn the ball right back over. We just got to be better in that area and back up the defense when the defense is doing their thing. We have to be able to go down the field and execute and put points up on the board, not give the other team life. So
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sacktown Sports.
Drapes and Jay holding it down. That was just Brock Purdy talking about that loss yesterday to the Arizona Cardinals, 24-23, a game in which the offense failed to score a single point in the second half.
That was terrible.
Jay, let me ask you this.
That was terrible.
That was terrible because I'm seeing everybody on the YouTube chat, seeing people on the text line talking about how bad the defense was.
Offense is bad too.
That's what I'm saying. Where's the blame pie at for offense versus defense? Yes, the offense. Yes, the defense got to do better tackling. They got to wrap guys up. They got to make good plays. But the offense, this is supposed to be where you stand out at. You got all these high-priced guys, and I know CMC's not playing, but you can't have a game in which you don't score in the second half at all against this Arizona Cardinals team. Come on, man. We're not talking about the 85 Bears here, Jay. We're not talking about the early 2000 Ravens with Ray Lewis. Like, why were they able to make the 49ers offense look pedestrian out there?
Yeah, I wish I had complete answers, but I continue. I always go back to, we talk about a team that's not been a team. We're having conversations and we're looking at the 49ers as if they're at full power, as if they're even close to
Jay.
But they're not, though.
Jay,
like,
don't do that, big fella. Right. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, man.
Come on.
We got it. We have to. This is the thing. Follow me what I'm trying to tell you. We are gauging the 49ers on what we thought the 49ers would look like when they're not the same team. So what I'm saying to you is they're not going to be as good as people believe they're going to be. We're talking about the 49ers that got CMC, that got Feliciano, that got starters. These guys are not playing right now.
But Jay,
so they're not going to be
23-10 at the half.
I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying to you is there's a reason why there's two halves, Drapes. We've seen plenty of times. Just remember, when this conversation happens with the Kings, because it's going to happen. We've seen it last year. And we're going to all look around and say, okay, there's two halves to a game. I'm not giving no excuses. What I'm trying to say is we're gauging a team that's not the team we thought they're going to be. So they're not going to run over guys. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to sit up here and be like, well, these guys are a Super Bowl team. They're not.
So hold up, Jay. Hold up.
That's what I'm saying. There's like no excuses.
Jay, time out, big fella. You can't do this, man, because I'm looking at Kansas City.
I'm just keeping it a
They
buck.
without their running back. They without their wide receiver. They got injuries. Injuries are part. This team,
you named two people.
That the Niners are still good enough to beat the Arizona Cardinals.
Agreed.
Jay.
I agree.
Come on now. The Rams ain't done anything since.
I'm with you.
They're still good enough to beat that. My concern for the Niners is you build a lead. You're up and you let a team score 11 in the fourth quarter and you don't do anything. Brock Purdy was playing. Ayuk was playing. J.P. Mason, who has done a hell of a job.
Yeah.
I know he's not CMC, but I can't look at that and say, oh, man, if we had CMC, like that's not – they had Kittle, they had Debo, and they scored 0 points.
No disagreement.
That's not on Feliciano missing, Jay.
Yes, it is.
No,
because
Jay.
if Feliciano is there, he might make that block to where Brock Purdy doesn't get hit. What do you mean? That's part of it. That's the point. That's the point I've always talked about the 49ers. We're gauging on a team that's not been the team. We've never seen this team technically at full strength.
Dude, I feel like you're letting this team off the hook
I'm
right
not.
now. You're letting Shanahan, Purdy, and all them off the hook.
I'm not, because I've said this team is not good. I'm talking to you as me saying this team is not what you believe they are. I've come to you and said this team is not what we're talking about. This isn't week 1 49ers. This is a no CMC, no Feliciano. Ayuk's been down. Debo's been hurt. Huff where is Huff? We don't even know what's wrong with Big Dog. Where's he at? What's going on? We have one starting linebacker, and then now he's hurt. Like, we're talking about people who we expect. You should almost expect this team to be very average.
Let's get to the phones, Jay, because I hear you, and I hear that passion. That's what I'm talking about. Mickey, you got that same passion as Jay. You're on with the Drive Guys.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
So real quick, the panic is setting in for sure for the 49er fans. I have 49er fans that are season ticket friends that are season ticket holders. They already talking about, man, they better start selling their tickets because they might not get as much down the road for them. And you know what else? They got 12 games left. I don't even know if they're going to go 6-6. Let's be real. And with the Niners, they so unpredictable, and with the way Shanahan calls those games, I'm a Falcons fan, bro. So you know I don't like Shanahan. So hey, don't say nothing. Kirk Cousins out there doing his thing. Bro.
Oh man, you believe in that?
Hey, Mickey, Kirk Cousins doing his thing.
Come on, man, you believe in that? 3-2, one game, and he doing his thing.
509 yards on Thursday night.
And the Falcons have been bailed out 3 times in all 3 of their wins.
Check it out. 6-6. You guys will be lucky if you go 6-6.
You might be too. You might be too. You make sure you call when we get to 12 games. You better be 8-4 too.
Hey, Mickey, I encourage you to call.
Please do.
Call. We're gonna win our division, baby. We're gonna win our division.
Hey, the Niners might win theirs at a 9-7 record, though.
You don't hear that Niner gang bang, Niner gang through the city right now. You don't see them flags running that right now, bro. That moment is down.
All right, Jay. All right, Mickey. Maybe I'll let that call go a little too far,
man. You talk, man. This dude 3-2, man. But he one game better. He feeling that good.
See, but here's the thing, Jay. You got to let Mickey cook, because when the Niners are up, the flags are flying. You playing bang bang Niner gang every break and everything like that.
I'm still playing.
Niners are licking their wounds right now. Let's stick with the phone lines. Let's go to 10. I'm gonna squeeze 10 in. 10. I'll tell you what. You're on with Drapes and Jay. It better be a football take, big fella, because if it's anything else, you might be banned for a week. What you got, 10?
I think because Jake Moody is the quarterback of the special teams. So with him being out, I hope that doesn't throw off the vibe. You still got the real quarterback of the offense, Brock Purdy, and the quarterback of the defense. You can name anyone in any position. They're vital on that side of the ball. So step up to the new kicker of the Niners.
All right, 10, thanks so much. Niners worked out 4 kickers today. Jake Moody has that high ankle sprain, short week as well. You got to go to Seattle this Thursday. So at least they'll get a professional kicker in instead of having Juszczyk kick. Let me ask you, Jay, how big was that yesterday?
Big. It was big. You could tell it changed their game plan a few times, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me take it another step further. How in the hell are you a punter and you can't even kick a field goal in the NFL? Like, we're that specialized in the NFL where this dude, you can only kick a 15-yarder. Drake's, I'll get out there and kick a 15-yarder.
First one, no, Jay.
He did 25 yards, big time.
Nah, dude, it's harder than you think, Jay. It's harder than you think.
I'm not saying it's hard to kick a field goal by all means. I'm saying you are a professional kicker, and albeit I know you're a punter, but that's also like you're specialized. That's all you do. Like, you got to at least be able to put the ball between the uprights 25, 30 yards. And he did.
But when you're talking 45, something like that, that's different. And that they went for it, on 4th and 23, I think it was. And Tom Brady's like, yeah, there's nothing in the playbook for this. But That you make that field goal.
Yeah.
Who
different.
knows? Maybe things are a little bit different.
And also, Drapes, that might have played a role in why J.P. Mason fumbled. You know, because he kind of got stood up a little bit, looked like he was fighting a little more, you know, maybe like, I got to get it as much as possible.
Right.
Because our kickers, you know, is not there. It definitely is it's definitely a problem.
Definitely a problem, but they got 4 guys they brought in today working them out. They should have obviously signed one, you know, in time for Thursday's game against Seattle. Let's squeeze in another call, Jay. Let's go to Casey on line 4. Casey, you're on with Drapes and Jay.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Not the Niners, that's for sure. They're down, and to me, at this point, the Niners, with the roster they have on the field right now, they should be able to beat the Rams and the Cardinals easily, even with the injuries that we have. To me, the problem, and I've long been a hater of Kyle Shanahan as a coach, but the guy can't finish games. Okay, he was 0-38 going into the fourth quarter until he beat the Detroit Lions last year in the playoffs, and he's just shown that he's blowing these leads in the fourth quarter when he doesn't have all of his guys. It's almost like he goes away from what got him there. Like in the Super Bowl with the Falcons when they were up 28-3, he started throwing the ball instead of running the ball, and he does the same thing. Like Mason only had 13 touches yesterday. I mean, he was running the ball, getting at least 5 yards to carry, and then we're trying to put it all on Brock. Now, you mentioned earlier, Drapes, that the special teams was good yesterday for once, but I would disagree because we had to have Moody make a tackle and we lost our kicker. So
I agree. Thank you, Casey.
Nah, that's the one play, Casey. They had the touchdown earlier. You got to give them credit for that.
I'm gonna tell my punter or my kicker, you don't even try to make the tackle. If it's past you, you just let them go, and we move on. Our offense is good enough. One touchdown basically cost us the game. That cost us the game. We could have kicked multiple field goals and won that game if our kicker didn't get hurt. Instead, they would have had that one touchdown. You know, it's like Patrick Mahomes trying to tackle the guy when he threw the interception. Why is Patrick Mahomes ever trying to make a tackle ever? Like, you're so valuable to your team, and you ended up, not only did you hurt yourself, but you ended up knocking out almost Rashee Rice probably for half the year. So when you get beat, you just get beat. You let that touchdown go.
But hold on, Casey. I'm sorry to cut you off. We see kickers trying to make plays all the time. Like, let's not all of a sudden. Like, this is football. Kickers know sometimes they're going to be called on to make a play. It was just a freak injury with Jake Moody. Don't blame that on Shanahan. Don't blame that on, that happens. That happens in the game.
That injury's not on Shanahan. Don't get me wrong. That's not on Shanahan. But like Jay said, our offensive line is banged up. You know, Purdy played well. Those 2 interceptions were both tipped passes. You know, that happens. It's not like he was throwing ducks all over the field, you know, and getting picked off like Aaron Rodgers. But, you know, here's the thing is we have a team that's good enough as it is that we should have been able to hold the lead against the Rams and against the Cardinals. And to me, that's coaching, and that's what's most concerning.
All right. Appreciate you, Casey. Thanks so much, man. We're up against it. I'm going to switch gears. We're coming back to the 49ers in a little bit, but Mike Brown was spicy this past weekend as his team held a scrimmage. We're going to talk about the Sacramento Kings as we are now just 2 days away from their first preseason game. You're listening to The Drive Guys with Drapes and Jay here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, Go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
You've seen him on the roast of Tom Brady, and you've heard him host the #1 podcast in the world, Kill Tony. Now see Tony Hinchcliffe perform stand-up comedy live at the venue at Thunder Valley, Friday, October 11th. The man behind millions of views worldwide and countless sold-out shows brings his stand-up set to you, Tony Hinchcliffe. Critics call him a must-see. Don't miss this stand-up comedian, writer, podcast host, and professional wordsmith live in Sacramento. Tony Hinchcliffe. Get tickets at ThunderValleyResort.com.
The Sacramento State Hornets are back at home this Saturday. Come check out the high-flying Hornets as they host the Eastern Washington Eagles. It's the Big Sky home opener, Saturday, 6 o'clock at Hornet Stadium, where we're celebrating cancer awareness and healthcare appreciation. Come watch some great football and stay for the post-game fireworks. Tickets are on sale now at HornetSports.com for Sacramento State and Eastern Washington. Stingers up.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacktown Sports 1140 Drive Guys here. Drapes and Jay, my guy Whitey, off this week. He will be back on Friday. Jay, I'll tell you what, man.
Allegedly.
No, that's what he says. He might have the vacation flu or something like that. You and I were both saying, dog, why are you coming back on a Friday?
Yeah.
Like, who comes back to work on a Friday? He said, well, the Niners played Thursday. I want to be there for the bruh.
The way they playing.
Right?
Stay away.
Niners who? I ain't watching that. Come on, man. I don't know what he up to this vacation, but he's coming back on Friday. It'll be a Niners Friday here as we react to the big game Thursday against Seattle. Did you see LeBron and Bronny got to take the court last night?
Yeah, I did. I saw a bunch of guys talking about LeBron knew the moment and stepped over to get the picture. And like, man, even if he did, that's too much reading into all of that. It's a beautiful thing, Drapes. Who wouldn't want to work with, their child? Right. I'm pretty sure you would want your son or daughter to jump on one time. Yeah, one of the situations I would too. I've tried to encourage my daughter to get into some form of broadcasting or something, and maybe she will, maybe she not. Salute to LeBron, his family, wife, Savannah.
Yes.
Bronny being able to make it, no matter. It was funny because I think he posted earn, not given.
Yes.
Bronny, and it's like, okay, big dog, you feeling yourself.
Fella, come on now. We know the truth. But no, it was a great moment. Sacramento Kings, they get in action. Our first preseason game is coming up on Wednesday at the G1C against Golden State. The Kings held a scrimmage on Saturday, had yesterday off, then back at it today. Jason Anderson of the Sacramento Bee got a good article up on the site talking about how spicy Mike Brown was after Saturday's scrimmage. The headline reads, Kings coach Mike Brown calls out star players in profanity-laced words on accountability. I know some Sacramento Kings fans right now, little upset with Jason Anderson about his tweet last week about the injured Kings center. He was talking about Orlando Robinson, who has an left knee injury, an MCL sprain. He's out approximately 4 weeks. But here's what Mike Brown had to say after that scrimmage on Saturday, talking about calling out the star players on the squad. I basically said, hey, in a nutshell, that can cost you a playoff series. 2 quick bang-bang turnovers. Talking about Mason Jones had some turnovers. Maybe you blow them out by 10, but now maybe it's a 4-point game. Hey, we can beat these guys, or maybe they win the game because of it. When he talked about his star players, he said, quote, I got on Foxy and Domas and DeMar a little bit because those three guys can't let that slide, talking about the turnovers. I shouldn't have to be the one saying that we all have to hold each other accountable. We all have to hold each other accountable all the time. And if our vets are see something like that from a young guy in Mason, then you've got to let them know, hey, Mace, you had a good day, but we can't finish like that. And I love seeing that from Mike Brown this early, Jay, because here's the thing we know about championship level teams. Sometimes the players have to police themselves, if you will. It can't just be the coaches all the time. Hey, guys, you got to be better. You got to do this, because at some point, the players start to tune out the coaching staff. The players have to hold each other accountable. And that's something I think Mike Brown in his tenure is trying to get Foxy to do a better job at, trying to get Sabonis to do a better job. And now the new guy, DeMar DeRozan. I remember covering the Boston Celtics. And one of the things, and this was when Doc Rivers was head coach. Sure, Doc Rivers would get on players, but you know who else got on players? Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, James Posey. Like, the players sort of police themselves, Jay. Our guys can't go be quiet. And this is something we've talked about over the last few years. As much of a headache as Dylan Brooks is, as much of a headache as Marcus Smart is, Patrick Beverly, when things go sideways, they speaking up. They're like, nah, this ain't happening here. We can't. Where's that from our guys? And I think that's what Mike Brown is trying to get the veteran leadership on this team to realize. It's not just good enough to do your job. This team goes how you go. You are the heart and soul of this team. You got to hold guys accountable. You got to hold your teammates to a level of excellence. And in the last segment, we were talking about the San Francisco 49ers, and it's the same thing for the Sacramento Kings, I feel like. There can't be any excuses. This Kings team going forward, we're going to see them coming up on Wednesday. I want to see the dog mentality, meaning if somebody makes a mistake, if somebody misses an assignment, you don't always have to just yell at them or anything, but let me know it bothers you. If Golden State goes on a 10-0 run, don't look at each other shell-shocked. Let me see some passion, some fight. And I think that's what Mike Brown is looking from his squad. You know, I look at it, Jay, and you tell me, man, you watch basketball all the time. When I look at this Kings team, one of the things we've been missing, or at least we've talked about missing, is a guy in the locker room who holds players accountable.
We need dogs.
Exactly. Our boy Will. Shout out to Will. I look at JaVale McGee last season. He tried.
Yeah.
But he was on the bench. He didn't get much time. I look at a guy like Tristan Thompson a few years ago. He tried, but probably the wrong messenger. Jay, do you believe the stars have to be the ones that lead in terms of holding guys accountable? I look at LeBron. He's doing it.
Yeah.
Durant, he's doing like the best players, Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're doing it. It's not enough for De'Aaron Fox to go out there and average 25 and 6, Jay. It's not enough for Domas to average 20, 12, and 8. When chips are going down, when your chips are down, they got to be the guys like, yo, come in. You know, they got to be more than just, I'm doing my job. They got to be leaders. And I think that's what Mike Brown's trying to get out of these guys.
Yeah, unless you are a guy who already kind of has that reputation, a la, like you said, Pat Bev, Dylan Brooks, guy. But these are high-ranking guys on their teams too, though. You know, quality starters, guys who've been part of long playoff runs, some championships, guys like that. Yeah, I think they tend to get respect, even though they may not be the star on their team. But yeah, I'm with you. I think there's a couple things, and I'm not just pointing out De'Aaron here. I'm not just pointing out DeMontis. I think that's where DeMar is going to help this team. He might not be the rah-rah guy, Drapes,
right?
But I think he's the guy that has the reputation and is respected in that locker room now, where something goes wrong, I think the team is going to look to DeMar for that type of guidance, for that respect, for that getting in that tail. Like, hey, listen, we got to do this to make sure that we're not falling down a la like the 49ers. We're not dragging. We're not we need some leadership. The other part, though, too, is for me, and I've been critical in certain areas of De'Aaron, I think that's one of his last things he needs to, conquer.
Yeah.
He's got to be a leader. He's got to be a guy that can say, get on my back, not through my play, because we've seen that now. Clutch player of the year, all league guy, all-star, that type of stuff. But he's got to be the guy to say, you know what, I'm going to will this team. Follow me as the captain, as someone that, can orally make this be something where we haven't crossed those thresholds, but you know what? I'm gonna lead this team in the locker room. I'm gonna lead this team on the bus. I'm gonna lead this team on the plane. And I think that's something a lot of people, not only us, but people throughout the league have said DeMontis kind of lacks. He does it well through his play,
right?
But does he really insert, leadership off the court?
No, you're 100% right. And here's the thing about it too. I wonder if that can be learned or you have that. Because when I look at it.
Well, before you say that, Drace, let me ask you this, because you've been around enough NBA throughout your career. Was Jason Tatum, soon as he stepped foot, was he that vocal leader, or did he learn, or did he not do it because there were some other guys on that team who were already the leader?
That's a great question.
How about Jaylen Brown?
No, but I think when you look at those guys, they had veterans. They came in. Jaylen Brown, Isaiah Thomas. Al Horford, Kyrie Irving. And sort of they learned, and then all of a sudden, it became their team.
The culture was already set.
Yes, yes, exactly. And I wonder, as we look at De'Aaron Fox right now, who's, a tremendous player, all-star, Jay, but was he hurt by not having that veteran leadership early in his career? Somebody, was it HB? But HB's not that kind of dude, is he? You know what I mean? HB's a leader, but more of a show by example kind of thing. You know what I mean? If I think when you look at the NBA, and a lot of these teams, veteran leadership is being pushed out. Like, you don't have the Udonis Haslams. I think players need to learn how to be the franchise player, meaning not just go out there and ball.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You know what I mean, Jay? But like, De'Aaron, we know you could be an all-star, but I need you to carry yourself like the franchise player. And Jay, been in locker rooms, been around franchises. Some guys abuse that power. You know what I mean? I look at a guy like Trae Young down in Atlanta, who is clearly the franchise player.
He knows it.
He knows it. He walks around. The plane got to wait for him. Team events got to wait, be
James Harden.
Exactly. But there's also guys, Jokic, franchise player, who's empowering, uplifting. LeBron, franchise player. The way they move, and that's what I need from De'Aaron Fox. I feel like DeMar, to your point, yes, he's going to help in that, but I also think he's going to defer to De'Aaron a little bit too. He's not going to try to ruffle De'Aaron's shoes. Same thing, Feathers, same thing that Domas did, a couple of years ago. It's De'Aaron's team.
But is he the type of guy, and you've been in these positions, Drapes, like you said, with Tatum and Jaylen, the culture was already set. And then when it's kind of, they grew into that because they were young guys. Now it's your turn. Like, we're passing the mantle to you. Whereas you're saying the Kings kind of like De'Aaron came before the steadying, the balancing, the culture. Right. And for, like you said, Harrison Barnes, to me, he was a guy that steadied the ship. He wasn't so much as the guy that was the rah-rah guy or look at me, or, he was always the calming spirit of the Sacramento Kings. Yeah. Do you believe that DeMar, being a franchise guy, he's been the franchise guy, being an multiple time All-Star, Olympian, gold medalist, like all these different things, he's accomplished just about everything beside the NBA championship and in the NBA. Do you believe De'Aaron can learn from that as, oh, this is how you operate as a franchise guy?
That's a great question, Jay. Can I answer it after this time?
Sure.
All right, we got the drive, guys. 916-339-1140. Talking about Kings leadership. Jay had a great question. Can De'Aaron learn from DeMar and take that into the season? We'll discuss that here next on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at Amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to Amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper. Drapes for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now is the time to buy or lease a Mercedes-Benz van for sale. They have Sprinter vans. You could turn it into a worker cargo van, a worker passenger van, or just a plain old passenger van. They are fully customizable. And one of the things I love about their Sprinter vans, because trust me, I had a chance to check them out myself. I hopped in the Sprinter van, and you guys know I'm a big guy, right? Well, I was able to stand up head to toe and fit perfectly. So if you're interested in the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van for your business or just your personal needs, now is the time to head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They can help you find the configuration that best suits your needs. Plus, you can take advantage of the huge tax breaks before year's end. Take the short drive down I-5 or go online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them your boy Drape sent you.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
It's the Drive, guys, with Drapes and Jay here on Sacktown Sports 1140, 916-339-1140. You can weigh in on our conversation. Talking about leadership for the Sacramento Kings after Mike Brown was a little spicy on Saturday addressing his team during the scrimmage.
Were you there, Drapes?
Nah, I didn't go Saturday.
No, okay.
I was at my son's golf tournament.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
With the new clubs?
Don't ask me about it, big.
Okay, all right, moving on. Next week.
I'm salty about it. I'm salty right now. It's like PTSD. But Mike Brown challenged his veterans, Domas, De'Aaron, and DeMar. Oh, I like that. The 3 Ds, huh? 3 Ds, Domas, De'Aaron, and DeMar, because there were some late turnovers in that scrimmage. And he said, you know what? Our guys got to police themselves. Our guys got to get on each other and hold each other accountable. It can't always be the coaching staff. And one thing we were just talking about, Jay, before the break was, well, when you look at De'Aaron and how he came into the league and the culture of the Kings, he really didn't have that OG veteran or that superstar to sort of show him how it's supposed to be done. Now, watching DeMar move, you could tell that dude's a superstar. You can tell he's a different. And what was your question, Jay, before the break?
The question is knowing DeMar is a superstar. Like he is a future Hall of Famer, no doubt. I think he's already etched that into the stone. can De'Aaron and DeMontis learn from DeMar, even though DeMar's not the rah-rah guy, but can they learn to be a franchise player because DeMar has been a franchise player? And maybe it's in the, observing, watching how DeMar operates. And you've said something that always sticks in my mind is I was off the week. Oh, no, we were in Vegas, I think, right?
Yeah.
When DeMar got signed.
Yeah.
Here, and before we knew he was signed, they had brought him into a summer league game.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
The golden, the classic.
Classic. Yeah.
And so I didn't watch, but I heard, got all the buzzes and everything else. But I remember you saying when I saw when I got into the arena and I saw DeMar operate, just how people stopped, watched him, paid attention, observed what he did, all those different things. To me, that's interesting. That lets me know this dude is a head and shoulders above the norm as a player. And so I'm just thinking, can DeMontis and De'Aaron pay attention and observe that and see how to really operate as a franchise player? Because there are franchise players.
Yeah, I think so. And here's why. We know DeMar likes to take the younger guys under his wing. But you know what I think, Jay? And De'Aaron, he said something very interesting on the Drive Guys during media day. He said something to the effect of, I got time, but I don't have time to waste. Something like that.
Exactly what he said.
That's exactly what he said, right? And I think time, De'Aaron will see at some point, maybe it's now from his comments, but your career ain't going to last forever. What do you want your legacy to be if you're De'Aaron Fox, if you're Domantas Sabonis? Is it an all-star level player? Is it, win 48 to 50 games a year? Or do you want to be a champion? And I think as they get older, and I'm talking about both players, De'Aaron and Domas, you can almost see the light at the end of the road and like, oh, snap. I need to get serious. I need to ratchet up the intensity. And that's what I want to see from De'Aaron and Domantas Sabonis, Jay, and from DeMar DeRozan, too, because he ain't won nothing yet.
Yeah.
He ain't won nothing yet. I need to see what we saw from the Boston Celtics last season.
Ooh, that's asking a lot.
Nah, it is, Jay, but they came in with a mission, big fella. They came in saying, you know what? I don't care if it's October, December, February, June. We about one goal, one mission. If I'm the Sacramento Kings, if I'm De'Aaron and Domas, my mission ain't getting back to the playoffs. My mission is to dominate each opponent on the way to a championship. And I think when you talk about franchise players, the guys that do it the right way, that's what it's all about. Everything they do is geared towards winning the championship. Every weight they lift, every team outing, it's about one goal. And for De'Aaron and Domas and DeMar, the goal shouldn't be, oh, I just want to make an all-star team. Or, oh, I just want to win 28 games, average 28 points. Oh, I just want to, be a top 4 seed. Because you know as well as I do, Jay, there's a lot of players that average 30, 28 a game and don't win a championship.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of guys that are top 4 seeds but don't win a championship.
Every year.
Every year. To win a championship, you got to be one of those ones. Here's the thing about it, too. Our guys have the talent. All three of them, De'Aaron, Domas, and DeMar. I look at a team like the Boston Celtics, and I'm comparing them because that's who I know, and they just won a championship. When I watch the way Jaylen Brown plays, he's not out there taking possessions off. He's not out there, all right, I scored my 25, but we lost. He out there trying to destroy you. And that's why we always have so much problems with them, because the force they play. How is a guy like Jaylen Brown, as great as he is, Eastern Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP. It's not just talent. It's about a will to be great. And that's what Jaylen Brown has. And Jason Tatum, I think, has it, and I think we'll see it this year, but that was the knock on him. Like, it looks like he's just going, getting his 28 and 30 or whatever. I need to see, for De'Aaron especially, because that's our franchise player, I need to see a will to be great night in and night out. I know you're pondering this one, Jay. What you got?
Because I'm thinking, and I'm with you. I've been super critical of De'Aaron and DeMontis of taking the next step.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is leadership. Part of that is being a championship player, caliber player. And you always get in return, well, you're not a championship type caliber player till you win a championship. And I always say I disagree with that, because I think you personally can be a championship caliber player and you don't win it. Like Charles Barkley was a championship caliber player. Karl Malone was a championship caliber player. Patrick Ewing was a championship caliber player. Reggie Miller, we can go on. They just didn't win a championship for whatever reason. Michael Jordan, whatever you want to call it, it didn't happen. And I think those are the last few things we need to see from our stars here in Sacramento. And I'd be interested to see, and I started this, is DeMar hasn't reached that, as you say, he ain't won nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people would argue he's a championship caliber player. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals. He just didn't get it done. He's been in the playoffs just about every year, feel like. For whatever reason, it just hasn't happened. But I think if you ask people, if right now, hey, DeMar DeRozan, the champion, some people would probably mistake, like, I think he was on that Toronto Raptors team, which he wasn't. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure we have that. And when you ask the NBA, pundits, and we have tons of them that come on this show, and you guys get to talk to them, I think a lot of guys always say, De'Aaron and DeMontis are great ball players.
Yeah.
But I don't really hear guys say, you know what? Those guys have a championship. Have an opportunity to win a championship.
Right.
Some like guys always come on and say, great guys, they should be all-star. We're still arguing if they're an all-star or not. In De'Aaron's case, I think DeMontis has firmly planted himself as probably the second best center in the Western Conference, and the top five for sure, with Embiid in there.
Yep.
But I listen to that, Drapes. I pay attention to all these guys who watch NBA and do what you do on a daily basis. I don't take that lightly, Drapes. You guys get to sit courtside and watch the greatest play.
Yes.
I haven't heard yet a person come on this station yet, and if I have, please forgive me, who have said De'Aaron's a championship caliber player. DeMontis Sabonis is a championship caliber player. They normally come on and say, that dude's great.
Right.
They're all stars. Those guys are all league guys. That's not top 5, top 10 in the league.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you really break it down, Drapes, really the top 5 or top 10 win a championship and no one else. And that's tough, man.
That's tough. I want to stick with this, Jay. When we come back, you can hit us up 916-339-1140. De'Aaron Fox, DeMontis Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan. Are they championship level players? And if not, how can we get them there? How do we get them where the Celtics were this year, Denver a couple of years ago? Because I could argue, and I see people on the text line weighing in, these three guys are more talented than guys who have won championships. I'll tell you who I'm talking about next. You're listening to The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
I didn't expect to, but I need to get a new health insurance plan. The good news is I found Health Markets. Health Markets lays out plans available to you. They have access to more than 200 carriers across the country, And if you need help, you can just speak with a licensed insurance agent.
For real personalized service, call Health Markets at 855-680-8222 to speak to a licensed insurance agent. That's 855-680-8222. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts. Paid actor per trail.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF. The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the only store in the world to be named a top 100 shop for 40 years straight. Yes, the only golf shop in the world. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Try any club on the shelf on the driving range for free and let our staff show you everything you need to look and play better. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Jay, you know I'd like to let this roll for like 4 or 5 minutes.
I'm with you, brother.
You know, it's my girl Taylor Swift right here.
I'll say this: as much as, and I never want to know completely, what you put out on the entire trip that's coming up here in a couple months.
Yeah,
she is always going to be an integral part of this show from here on out.
appreciate that.
You know why?
Why?
Because you've laid down a lot of coin, man, and you deserve it. You deserve it.
Oh man, let me just say, and I ain't gonna tell you how much.
I never want to know.
It's more than a mortgage payment. It's
You
like
are
I still don't believe it, man.
No, you said on this very show, beside a house and a car, this is the most money you've spent in a lump sum. So that tells me, and I know how you wiggle, bro. I know how you get there on vacations.
Yep,
I know you'll go somewhere and stay there. I'm like, you in England? Oh man, I was just over here for a week, so I figured I'd do it.
Right.
And you're telling me more than that? Oof.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, though. We'll get back to the Kings conversation here in a second. I almost feel guilty, big fella. So I need you to help me out.
Don't do this.
Nah.
I hope you're not going.
Nah, you gotta help me. You gotta help me out. You got a girl. You got a young daughter. I love these damn kids so much, Jay. So much that, and you know how it is too, coming from where we come from. I want to give them things I've never experienced as a kid. Like, I want to give them the world. But while doing that, am I raising kids not to understand the value of it? For instance, we're out Halloween shopping the other day, Sunday. And this is why I feel like I'm doing okay. But we're looking at decorations. And there was something they wanted. And I was like, all right, let's check the price.
And it was like 50, 60 bucks. And they were like, ooh, 50, that's too much, Dad. In my mind, I'm like, that's, and so I guess to kids, $50, $60 is like, if they get $100 bill, I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm like,
they winning.
So, but so the kids were like, Dad, we've picked out something for your birthday. My birthday's in April. They already got something in mind.
Dang.
But they're like, we're not sure if Mom's going to buy it. I said, really? How much is it? They said, it's probably like $2,500. And I'm like, yeah, Mom ain't going to buy that. Now, Dad, me, I'm like, hey, but the fact that they want to do something like that for me makes me feel great. But I'm like, I don't know about that, kid. Y'all got $2,500? Then they realize, oh, yeah, if we buy it, really, you're just buying it for yourself, huh, Dad? Because we're using your money.
Yep.
But I'll tell you a funny story as we talk about birthday gifts. My past birthday, my son wanted to buy me some sneakers.
Okay.
And they were like $300.
Aren't they all?
And their mom was like, we can't spend $300 for Dad and his sneakers. And they told me that. And I was like, what? You see this house? You see these cars? At least I could get some $300 sneakers instead of socks or a new tie. Like, you know what I mean, Jay? I'm out here buying Taylor Swift tickets, buying new golf clubs. I'm taking the kids to Disney. We going to Mexico. We going to Hawaii, but Dad can't get no $300 sneakers. That's where we draw the line. I told them, y'all better buy them damn sneakers. And guess what? They bought them sneakers.
That's what's up, man.
Seriously.
That's why you can't feel guilty. Because I already know where you're going.
Yeah.
I had a thing where, when I was highly into shoes, every time I bought a pair of shoes, I felt like I had to buy my daughter a pair.
Yeah.
And then my now wife at the time, she was like, man, she gonna be okay.
Right.
She gave me the insight of that. And so as parents, I would say as a parent to another parent, I'd say, hell no, you don't have to feel guilty, because these children, even in the economy and things that we have, you are blessed to be able to provide, like you said, certain things that you weren't able to, receive or be blessed with, or, have the opportunity to feel like to go to, Mexico and England and Taylor Swift and all. Man, if I'd asked my mom for Taylor Swift tickets, that cost what you put, man.
Come on,
my
man.
mom looked at me crazy.
Come on, man.
So, nah, you shouldn't feel. Sometimes, and let me also say this, I'm speaking to all the parents out there that's listening. It's tough right now. Like, you look around the world, society, it's tough. And sometimes we as people need to take a 1 minute, 10 minutes, an hour, a day to ourselves. And when you are a parent, more times than not, you put your child in front of what you do, or your children in front of the things that you do, right? And I commend all parents for doing that. Absolutely. But there is a point in time where you have to look in the mirror and say, you know what? This is for me. We deserve it too. And we don't need to convince ourselves, should I, or could I, or do I need? Hell yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself too.
Yeah.
Because when it's all said and done, if you don't take care of yourself, guess who depends on you? Right.
Yep.
And those are things that I had to learn, as a parent growing, especially as a girl dad, because as my wife always says, man, she got you wrapped.
Yes.
Completely wrapped around the fingers.
Same thing.
So Drapes, don't feel guilty.
Right, okay,
Parents out there listening right now to the Drive Guys, don't feel guilty.
Right.
Take care of yourself too.
Yep.
You have to be in the proper space, opportunity, feeling, emotion, whatever you want to call it, for your children to feel that vibe too, to be in that great position, to do, like, sometimes it's just a rat race, right? We do so much for our children on top of life, taking care of our children because of life.
And the thing about it too, this Taylor Swift situation,
man,
I'm getting something out of it too, though, Jay. Like, it's not just for her. I'm excited to do something with her. This is our thing. And the things you and I need too, you really can't put a price tag on it. You know what I mean? Like, quality time with my son or daughter. Sure, I want some shoes, but that's, at the end of the day, It's just, if I want shoes, I'll go buy them myself.
Means nothing.
You know what I mean? It means nothing. But the quality time I get to spend and to make this little girl the happiest girl on earth, that's why I did it. That's why I did it. All right. Man, I know. You're getting me emotional here. 916-339-1140. Going back to our conversation regarding the Sacramento Kings and the leadership, because Mike Brown called out the leaders on Saturday during the scrimmage and after the scrimmage, saying they need to hold each other accountable. The team needs to hold each other accountable. And we're talking about championship level players. We know De'Aaron, Domas, DeMar, all-star talent, perhaps future Hall of Famers. But how do they become championship level players? And somebody raised something on the 916 that sort of made the hair on my arm stand up, because we were talking about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and them winning the championship. From the 916, both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum would be the best player on the Kings, and it wouldn't even be close. So what are we even talking about here? This is my point, Jay. Jason Tatum, one of the most talented guys in there. Jaylen Brown, phenomenal. But Jaylen Brown, if I'm being 100% real, and that's my guy, De'Aaron Fox has as much talent as Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
The reason why Jaylen Brown is so great is because his desire to be great, his desire to dominate and be the best player on the floor night in and night out, his desire, even with Jason Tatum on the floor, to say, nope, I'm going to do my thing too. And so I think De'Aaron Fox can be a Jaylen Brown, can lead a team, but you got to have the right mindset for it. And this is why I think as Fox gets older, and he's in his 8th season, and that's why he had the comment that he had to the Drive guys on media day when he says, I got a lot of time, but I don't have time to waste. To me, that's signaling a shift in his mentality.
Something's changed,
right? Where these things go by quickly talking about seasons. You don't want to look up 32, 33, no rings, chasing it. Like, now's his time, Jay. And so to compare Fox and Jaylen Brown got to this point because of his drive, his work ethic, his heart, his desire to be great. That's what I want to see from De'Aaron Fox, because he can be one of those dudes. Yeah. Jay, we saw it against Steph Curry in the first round.
Yep.
He was going head-to-head with Steph. He was outplaying Steph Curry until the finger injury. And so when we say, do we have championship level players? Well, we have championship level talent.
The ability.
Mm-hmm. Now they just got to capitalize on it. And so if I'm Domas and if I'm De'Aaron, I'm looking at it like the Celtics did this past season, where every game means something. You can't let a team, and I know the Celtics lost to Charlotte on a fluke game last year. It's a fluke. But you can't let Detroit beat you. You can't let Charlotte beat you. You can't let New Orleans beat you 6 times. And I think that's what Mike Brown is talking about. When you're going through these struggles throughout the season, and all teams go through some hiccups, is it on the coaching staff to pull you out? Or is it on the guy, 12 to 15 guys in the locker room, to say, you know what? This ain't happening. Case in point, Jay. It's going to happen at some point this season. The Kings are going to lose 2 or 3 in a row.
Oh, yeah.
But what I need to see is De'Aaron, Domas, whoever, to come out and say, you know what? We ain't losing this night. I'm going to go out there and get 55.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm going to go out
right
there and get 55 with 8. Like, I'm going to an otherworldly performance to stop this slide. To me, that shows the sense of urgency. Like, you know what? We can't have this. And I don't care what Malik does. I don't care what Keegan does. If I'm De'Aaron Fox, I know for sure we getting this win. You know what it reminds me of, Jay? It reminds me of LeBron's performances in the finals against the Warriors. Remember when Kevin Love was hurt, Kyrie? LeBron was out there averaging like 48, 13,
doing it all.
That's what we need from our guys. That's what I want from De'Aaron Fox. And I'm not saying he's going to beat LeBron, but on most nights, if I'm keeping it real, De'Aaron Fox has the potential to be the best player on the floor.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't care if he's going against John Morant.
That's right.
You need to eat up John Morant. Like, you got to be, if you're going against Steph Curry and the Warriors, be the best player on the floor. Because to your point you said earlier, usually the people that win championships are top 5, top 10 talents. You know how to get to that point? It's by beating other
Those
top
guys.
5, top 10 talents. When you go against Jokic, tremendous player, he's going to get his 28, 15, and 9. Well, if you're De'Aaron, go out there and have 38 on him. Go have 42. I need a superhuman performance from De'Aaron Fox when the team needs it the most.
You know, Drapes, I always go back to, and you had said this because you were sitting in the building.
Mm-hmm.
The performance of LeBron's first championship against the Celtics. You've seen it. And we've played clips of Norris Cole saying we knew LeBron was just on a different height that night. He's normally joking and laughing and doing these things. Man, nobody could even get in contact with LeBron. He pulled up to the bus. He came late. He had his headphones on. He was zoned in, zoned out, said 5 words to the whole team all night. And the dude commenced to go, 23 of 23 or 21?
Yeah, it was
21
crazy.
before he missed a couple. He finished like 23 or 25. That's where, and someone said on the 916 Drapes, from the 209, what are the championship caliber player doing that you feel Fox, Sabonis, and DeRozan are not doing? What does Brown do our guys don't? What does Curry do that our guys don't? And I think you've answered it.
That's it.
We're talking about when it's really all said and done. Just look at the people who've won the championships over the last, whatever you want to say. Dallas Mavs, Boston Celtics. You just said about what Jaylen Brown and maybe Jason Tatum. They may have 2 guys. The Denver Nuggets. We know what Jokic is about.
Right.
I'm going to be the best player on the floor at all points and times.
Yeah.
And if not, come show me. Come prove it. Come beat me. We know guys will lose. Everybody can't win a championship every single year. Right. But I use that LeBron, what was that, 16? What was that, 12, excuse me?
When he beat the Celtics?
Yeah, it was at 12?
2012.
2012.
Yep.
Where there's a point in time in your career, maybe you spot on with what you're talking about with De'Aaron. Something flips, and it's like, you know what, man? There's not a person in the world that's going to stop me tonight from winning a championship and or winning a game. You don't see that with our guys all the time. And then when there's an opportunity, Drapes, and you get to see it point blank and center, you get to hear the words out of their mouth that we don't sometimes. You see a star, turn it on against the Kings. And I go back to Paolo Banchero just last year in the OT game. He said no matter who, what, where, why. And guess what? They still lost. But they were really there because this dude was doing otherworldly stuff. So that tells me he's got that mentality. Now, he might not have the team. He might not win a championship. But he has that.
Right.
I think we've seen bits and parts of that from De'Aaron. But I think what I'm asking is at any given night, I want to see that.
Right.
I want to see that not at any given night. I take a step further. I want to see that multiple nights.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that multiple nights. I want to see that multiple months.
Right.
I don't want to see that multiple months. I want to see within the next 2 or 3 years, you show me that now when it's all said and done, and I started this conversation and I asked you this in the beginning, and this is why I'm answering the 209. When NBA pundits come on this show, I've yet to hear a person say, you know what? Somewhere down the road, no matter if Kings fans want to say Cats is hating or not, I've heard people come on this show and got no reason to hate.
Right.
Because they are a play-by-play of the Charlotte Hornets. They are a color analyst of the Portland Trailblazers.
Right.
Teams that's not even close to winning the championship. Come on here and say, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, man, those guys, all-star level guys. I can't believe they weren't all-stars. It's a travesty those guys weren't all-stars. It's a travesty De'Aaron Fox wasn't an all-league guy. It's a travesty Domantas was a third league. He's the second best center. Joel Embiid didn't play enough games. What I'm saying is, open your ears, Kings fans. Wait to hear some of these guys say, you know what? That dude's a top 5 guy in the league.
Right.
That dude should win a championship. He should be an MVP caliber guy. He should have been voted in the top 5. That, to me, lets me know people in the NBA circle, people that you get to smooth with, people that I have opportunity to talk about, they've grown.
Right.
It's a different level now. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, Jay, and I will say this. 2 years ago, that 48-win season, I felt like De'Aaron was trending.
He was getting close.
He was getting fourth quarter. He was always taking over. Clutch player of the year. He delivered night in and night out. What's crazy is he had better numbers this past season, but the impact was different. And so it's not always about going out there and averaging 38 and all this. It's about taking over when the game needs it. We're going to face Anthony Edwards opening night, October 24th at Golden One Center. If I'm De'Aaron, Domas, DeMar, whoever it may be, I can't wait. Oh, Anthony Edwards, he on Team USA? Watch this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to give him buckets. And so I feel like as we try to get our team to a championship, the switch comes on. And I'll look at a player, let's say, like, Devin Booker. Devin Booker, and I know it was, sort of a COVID kind of situation, if you will. Devin Booker was being compared to Kobe Bryant. Think about this. Devin Booker was being viewed as one of the top 10 players in the NBA. And Booker's great. That's my guy. Fantastic. But why can't that be De'Aaron Fox? Foxy's just as talented. That's why I can't wait to see not only Wednesday when the Kings play the Warriors right here on Sacktown Sports 1140, but also this season. Think about Jaylen Brown, and we made that comparison. Jaylen Brown was an all-star level player. He's a good player. Jaylen Brown went from a good player to a finals MVP just like that because he played with the will because he would not be denied. If I'm Foxy, because I'm putting it on him because I feel like he no doubt can be this guy, put the team on your back, De'Aaron, when you need to. Impose your will. If I'm De'Aaron Fox and I'm going against Detroit, and if you talk to all the great players, they would say something like this. If I'm Fox and we're going against Detroit, I already know I'm taking the entire fourth quarter off because we're going to be up by 25 at 30. Put your stamp down from the second you step on the floor. You're the franchise player. You have that talent. And I think if we're ever going to really talk about a championship here in Sacramento, because I think this is what Mike Brown is trying to get his guys to understand, and I've said this time and time again, Jay, your stars got to be superstars. They got to deliver. Celtics ain't winning the title without Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Nuggets ain't winning the title without Jokic being the top player on the floor. Warriors aren't winning championships without Steph Curry. So as much as we want to talk about the backup center, who's the 4-man, the 2-man, who's coming off the bench, the stars are going to be the ones that lead us to where we need to go. And that's what I need Fox and Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan to understand. Because when you look at it, Jay, superstars, you know what you're going to get. That night in and night out, it's the role players that's up and down you can't count on every now and then. But I need De'Aaron Fox to be a superstar this season. I need 28, 7 assists, clutch buckets, great defense. And I don't want to hear from Kings fans to say, oh, Drapes, that's asking too much. That's not asking too much of Jokic. That's not asking too much of Giannis. That's not asking too much of LeBron. Why should we lower our expectations for our guys? I want Domas to be 22, 13, and 9. I want De'Aaron to be 37 assists and great defense. I want DeMar DeRozan. I want these guys to be the best that they can be and not take any nights off, Jay. That's my thing. I know. It frustrates me, man, because I know our guys can be great. Like, I know I've seen De'Aaron stand across from Steph Curry and be the best player on the floor.
Yep.
It's there. I've seen Domas take on Jokic and hold his own. Domas dominate against Anthony Davis. I've seen it. And so that's why I think this year, Jay, just making the playoffs ain't enough.
Ooh. What you looking for, man? You putting the pressure on them now already?
Yeah, I'm putting the pressure on there. I'm putting the pressure on there.
We ain't got one preseason game in the books yet.
I'm sorry, big fella. We not the Warriors. We not the Clippers. We are ready now.
I got
to make some noise in the Western Conference. When I look at the Western Conference standings, I see maybe 2 teams where I'm like, yeah, they're probably better than us right now. And that's OKC and Minnesota. We could beat Dallas. Luka ain't scaring me. When we're at our best, adding DeMar DeRozan, why not us? And so Pelicans, come on, man. They got us last year, but we're a better team. That's what I want to see from my Sacramento Kings. We got more Sacramento Kings talk coming up, obviously, as we get you ready for the preseason opener Wednesday right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 against the Golden State Warriors. But coming right back to the San Francisco 49ers. I'll let you calm down, Niners fans. I gave you a little break. You could take a deep breath. Then we can dissect what the hell happened yesterday against the Cardinals. It's the Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by RC Willey Home Furnishings.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Light winds Monday night. Valley temperatures stay in the low to mid 60s. More heat for Tuesday with highs in the upper 90s. It'll be cooler after that. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
This week at RC Willey, enjoy exclusive fall savings. Get $50, $100, or $200 off your purchase. Whether you're refreshing your bedroom, updating your kitchen, or adding warmth to your living room, RC Willey has you covered. Visit RC Willey today and fall in love with your home.
When it comes to fighting for families and protecting kids, no one works harder than our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover. A member of the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus, Hoover has worked across party lines and proposed tougher penalties for fentanyl crimes, stricter sentences for drug trafficking near schools, and RILA's law to make sure anyone who abuses a child is held accountable. A former school board member, Josh has fought to support school police officers, prohibit homeless encampments near schools, and increase funding for school facilities. Josh Hoover knows that families have been paying more for everything from gas and groceries to utilities and insurance. In the Assembly, Josh is working to provide relief to families, reduce the cost of housing, and stop Gavin Newsom from raising gas prices even more next year. Josh Hoover is making a difference for our families, our community, and our future. Our voice, our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover.
Paid for by Hoover for Assembly 2024. Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Made a Chevy Silverado blowout is on with $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2024 Silverado half-ton LT in stock after rebates. Or choose $12,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 Silverado half-ton RST in stock after rebates. Exclusively at Made Chevy at MadeChevy.com. Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Made Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. Most graded 2010 model year or newer. Ends 10/31/24.
Don't you deserve healthcare you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow.
You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for California, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
True fans of the game should pick up a copy of The Match, the day the game of golf changed forever, written by Mark Frost, who also wrote The Greatest Game Ever Played. The book was published more than 10 years ago, but it tells the true story of a remarkable round of golf played by legendary professionals Ben Hogan and Byron Nelson against two of the sport's greatest amateurs, Ken Venturi and Harvey Ward. Hogan, who avoided playing with amateurs at all costs, was hoodwinked into playing by Eddie Lowry, Francis Ouimet's diminutive caddy, who at that point was a successful San Francisco businessman. The match, with its many wagers, was set to be played at Cypress Point Club, and although the exciting 18 holes unfold with each turn of a page, it's the backstory of each of the players that makes the words come alive. My friend Ken Venturi, the last survivor of that foursome, told me it was a dream match, and so good even fiction couldn't touch it. It's a fabulous read. For Golf to Go, I'm Frank LaRosa.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Drapes and Jay here on Sacktown Sports. 1140 is The Drive Guys. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Monday Night Football, Saints, Chiefs. Should be a big-time matchup. Just got some breaking news regarding the Kansas City Chiefs. Ian Rappaport, Rap Sheet, he just tweeted out, while Chiefs star wide receiver Rashee Rice's season is expected to be over, he did receive positive news today. Rice needs his LCL repaired, but there's a chance that's the only ligament to be repaired. He's expected to make a full recovery, which is huge news for them, obviously. One of their stud wide receivers. Getting back to the San Francisco 49ers, started off the show that way. And I'll tell you what, I know we got William on line one, and we'll get to William coming up in a minute. I wasn't even going to go in on the Niners after that 24-23 loss.
Now that's a lie.
No. Jay, I don't need to knock them. I don't need to kick them while they down, but I just looked at the YouTube chat, Sacktown Sports 1140. Ron Skiss, 49ers season is over. Shanahan should be fired. Sounds like panic button has been hit, Jay.
That might be the same cat who called in that was a Falcons fan talking about the 49ers. You don't see no flags being floated out here. Yep, nobody talking about bang, bang. Man, y'all 3-2 with lucky wins.
But, dog, they beat quality competition. The Niners beat who?
Patriots, baby.
Patriots?
Quality competition.
The Jets.
Quality competition.
A combined what? 3-7 or something like that? Come on, man. And so we're revisiting the Niners and what exactly happened yesterday. The team's on top 23-10 at the half. Everybody's looking good. Defense is playing well. Bosa, an interception near pick six, a kick six, if you will, from the special teams, touchdown return. You know, outside of that Kyler Murray long 50-yard run on the first drive of the game, the Niners were looking great. But then Jake Moody gets hurt right before the half. Then in the second half, the defense falls apart. Then Brock Purdy throws some picks. Then J.P. Mason fumbles. And as I said earlier, it seems like when things start going bad for the Niners, they don't just stay bad, they go worse. That J.P. Mason fumble, and you heard it in Tom Brady's voice, when that thing popped out, they're like, oh, ball's loose. And it was so shocking because what you saw, Jay, it was like a slow motion video where you knew it's like the Titanic on the iceberg. You see it coming. It's like, oh my God, this is really happening. And it just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed for the San Francisco 49ers. I got 3 questions for you. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Is it time to hit?
Bang, Niner gang. We ain't done yet.
Is it time to hit the panic button? Who's to blame? And question most important to me is this season over, as Ron Skiss says? I'm not saying that. It's still way too much time.
Is Ron saying who he's a fan of?
No, he hasn't weighed in.
Oh, okay.
Ron's Kiss. Tell me who you're a fan of. Probably a Raiders
fan,
or Seahawks, something like that. But, Jay, you and I were talking off air, and I don't know if you want to say this on air or not.
For sure.
But you worried. You got to be a little worried.
Oh, yeah.
You're a little worried.
Absolutely.
Something ain't right.
No, something ain't right. Yeah, they're not executing to the best of their abilities. There's definitely some things to worry about. You know, I believe most people today are going to point the finger at Kyle Shanahan, you know, maybe Nick Sorensen on the defensive side. I think, you know, the third part is injuries. You know, a lot of people are going to point towards that, but they're not clicking on all cylinders. We can't turn the blind eye to that, Drapes. We know the 49ers can be a lot better than how they're operating and how they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not fully panicked, but I'm definitely worried about how they're going to turn this around, getting some guys healthy, and at the same time of how can they start to finish games? Because now, if there is something to panic about, let me put this out on record. The 49ers, and people could say Kyle Shanahan because he hasn't proved it. And it's kind of what we've talked about. You're not a champion until you win.
Until you're a champion. Yeah, until you win.
But Shanahan has a lot of evidence that he can't close it out. And that is a problem to panic as, you know, a fan of the 49ers.
Now, you know I'm not a Shanahan guy, Jay. I'm not a Shanahan guy.
You could have fooled me.
And I know people are going to say put it all on Kyle Shanahan. But I need somebody to tell me what the hell Shanahan could have done differently. Give me some examples where Shanahan made a mistake. Shanahan didn't have a team ready. Shanahan didn't adjust. Shanahan didn't make the play call. Like, it's easy to point the finger at the coach, but how about the players being better? How about Brock Purdy not trying to scramble around so much like a chicken with his head cut off? How about the offensive line being better at pass protection? I thought they did a great job run blocking, but pass protecting. How about not having 12 missed tackles? How about J.P. Mason not coughing up the ball? Kyle Shanahan is low-hanging fruit, ladies and gentlemen. He's becoming the whipping boy of Niners. I'm surprised our boy TC ain't called yet. Like, what could Kyle Shanahan have done? And I understand it's an issue with Shanahan coach teams, the late game collapses. But tell me what he could have done, people. I want to know, was it his fault that Brock Purdy threw 2 interceptions? Was it his fault that guys didn't wrap up and get tackles? Was it his fault that the offense only gained 130 yards in the second half? Too much blame on Kyle Shanahan. Without Kyle Shanahan, you're not in position to win that game yesterday. So please hit me up and tell me what it is you want from Kyle Shanahan. 916-339-1140. Let's go to William on line 1. William, you're on with Drapes and Jay.
Hey, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller. All last week, I heard you guys talking about how all the position players in the Niners are top 5 in their position group. But now you want to blame them for having a bad game? The buck starts and stops with the coach. Shanahan consistently blows double-digit fourth-quarter leads. He does not put his players in a good position to close out the game. It is not panic time for the Niners yet, but I'll tell you what, Thursday night, if they lose to the Seahawks, they'll be 0-3 in the division. Then it's time to start thinking about the panic button.
Don't hang up yet, William. Don't hang up, big fella, because I hear it. I hear it.
Don't you holler at my 49er fan like that.
I'm saying it's easy to say the coach isn't doing his job in the second half. What would you have done differently yesterday?
Hey, dude, I'm not a coach. That's what he gets paid the big money for. Figure it out.
Nah, but
that's right, Will. Let him know.
I got Ron's Kiss saying he should be fired. I got William calling in and saying it's his fault.
At some point, you guys have to stop making excuses for blown double-digit fourth-quarter leads.
I'm just talking about yesterday. When I look at
same
yesterday,
thing, double-digit blown lead.
Jay, come on, man. You want Kyle Shanahan to go out there and kick field goals? You want Kyle Shanahan to go out there and play quarterback and not get the ball tipped? I'm looking at the text line. It's partially his fault because he puts Purdy in pass plays that could be tipped. What the hell is that, Jay? Brock Purdy historically, look at the numbers from last season, 8th most pass tips last year. That's not Kyle Shanahan's fault. And people are saying, well, you should run the ball more. I thought you had Brock Purdy, boy wonder. I thought you had Debo. I thought you had Ayuk. I thought you had the best offensive skill players in the NFL. And, Jay, this ain't 1985 when you're running 40 times a game.
Should be.
Come on, man.
Where Jim Harbaugh at, baby?
Come on, man.
3 yards in a cloud of smoke sometime. Ice a game away, Kyle.
Somebody said, why no backup kicker? Roster spot. Help me understand. Nobody carries a backup kicker. It's like having a kicker in fantasy, 2 kickers in fantasy. Nobody does that. You got the punter. That's the emergency kicker. And usually you try to get it through with him. And they just have 4 kickers in working out as they get ready for Thursday's game. Let's get to Ramiz, my boy Ramiz on line 2. What's up, man? You're on with Drapes and Jay.
Before I go on my rant, gentlemen, top 5 in their position, they only got 3 players on that team are top 5 in that position. Would be McCaffrey, right? It'd be the linebacker Warner and Bosa. Purdy ain't no top 5. First of all you Niner fans should be very worried about what's going on this season. All these Niner fans throughout all season said, we're not worried about the regular season. It matters when we're in playoffs. We might not even win this division. And about Kyle Shanahan, you guys want to fire him? We'll take him in Big D, man. I can't stand McCarthy. But Shanahan is a great coach. These Niner fans are tripping. You guys have a good day, gentlemen.
Oh, he ran away though, Ramiz. You can't just do that.
He got up out of there.
I know he's listening right now.
I already knew he wasn't a 49er fan. Plus, Ramiz has been a staple of the community for a minute. So, I'm going to pay him his homage and respect for jumping. He's been rocking for many moons. But, man, here we go again. Did you not ask for 49er fans?
Yeah.
You did.
Where they at?
They calling. But we still getting Dallas Cowboy fans. We getting Atlanta Falcons fans talking for us.
You know why?
Man, we don't want to hear that stuff,
You know why? Because your squad is down, Jay.
I know.
This is their chance to get you.
So, you know what? Exactly. It's a lot of hating going on around here. And understandable. No problem. And that's the thing, Drapes. That's part of this. And I'm not saying you, because you've come to the table decent today.
I've been decent.
But there are a lot of people like a Ramiz, like I can't remember who was the Atlanta Falcon fan who, oh yeah, the 49ers should be panicked. Well, yeah, because you on the outside looking in, big fella, to use the word that Drake would say. Of course you are. You want us to hit the panic button.
Jay.
You want to hate. You want us to be salty about our squad right now. Let us have some continuity, baby. Chill out, Dallas Cowboy fan. You should be looking at your division where you're looking up right now.
They coming off a nice win.
And
at Pittsburgh.
That 90-minute rain out soak situation that you want to sit up there and talk about.
This is the problem with Niners fans.
This ain't the problem with 49ers. No, this is the problem with Cowboys fans and Falcons fans. Y'all just want to see 49ers lose. Have some respect. Pay homage to your big brother.
Jay, you guys are too cool, confident. Maybe it's a West Coast thing. I don't know. But it's like, it's all good. We 2-3. We lost to garbage teams. We got this. We'll be all right. Jay, you keep talking like you ain't even get to the tough part of your schedule
we
yet.
Ain't worried, Drake.
You got 7 games coming up against halfway decent competition. Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys. You got some tough matchups coming up, Jay. This is where you should be 4-1 instead of 2-3. You got at the Packers. Lambeau, always a tough place to play. You know that. And so this is, you know what this is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hearing from Jay and some other Niners fans out there. This is false confidence. This is a team being down 20 in the third quarter. That's all right. We still got the fourth. We got this. Where's the sense of urgency, Jay? Where's the sense of like, you know what? Nah, this is unacceptable. I'm listening to players yesterday after the game talking about the Cardinals got a lucky one.
Yeah, they did.
Come on, Jay.
Let me hear my boy. Let me hear my boy Diamador Lenore.
You got Diamador?
Yeah, speak some real into the game right here, man.
There's no such thing as bad weather, just soft people. And nobody here is soft. So we ain't going to blame it on the weather. They lucked up and got one. Congratulations to them.
That's right, Demo. They lucked up and got one.
That's a lack of respect for your opponent.
As they supposed to.
No, Jay. See, that's what I'm saying.
No, not a lack of respect. I got
come on, man.
Yeah, not a lack of respect.
Cardinals came in there and
No. They did. Come on.
They came in there and handled their business.
They did. They came in and handled their business.
What I want to hear from Diamador Lenore is, like you sent me in the text.
Yep.
This is unacceptable.
It is.
We the Niners. We got to be better than this. We can't let teams come into our building and beat us like that.
You're right.
And so this whole, we good, we cool, everything will be okay. You'll be sitting there about a 3-6, wondering why you on the outside looking in, Jay.
And then it'll be time to panic. I just think there's a lot of outsiders who are outside of Levi Stadium, outside of the locker room, who want the 49ers to panic.
Richard Sherman is panicking.
With a Seahawks hat on. Absolutely.
My boy Bonte. You got that Bonte
I got
sound?
Bonte for
this
you.
with Bonte, who's my guy down there in the Bay Area, does radio, TV, huge Niners fan. This is what he had to say after yesterday's loss.
Wow. I was ready to take a nap in the third quarter, get my rest on. Shut out in the second half by the Arizona Cardinals. Red zone woes continue. Missed tackles. That is a horrific loss. Oh, my Lord. Now you're 0-2 in the NFC West. Lost to the Rams and the Cardinals, both in horrific fashion. Short week up to Seattle. We'll see what they do later on against the New York Giants.
Loss.
I mean, just tomorrow's going to be a show.
That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
His job,
Jay.
man.
Nah, Jay,
get Bonte on the show.
You gotta.
I'm gonna get Bonte on the show tomorrow.
You know what? Get Bonte on tomorrow.
Because that's his job. Matter of fact, if that wasn't a clip, I'd have cut Bonte off if he was on the phone.
So when they lost yesterday, you just went, all right, it's just October.
No, I didn't do that.
No,
I didn't do that.
You wasn't tweeting much, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I don't tweet too much after wins either.
The question is, and I hear you, there's still plenty of time left. But the Eagles had issues.
Yep.
And I felt, all right, we'll be all right. We'll fix this. And then it never happened. Are Niners fans worried that things won't be fixed. Like things just won't come together. Because, Jay, it's not just about losing football games. It's the injuries.
Yeah.
That's piling up.
Yeah.
It's, finally my guy Ayuk had his best game. What was it, 167, something like that? He looked fantastic out there. But what about Hufanga now being injured? What about Moody being injured? Comes a certain time where, and people have weighed in on this on the text line and on YouTube, where it's just not we're losing games. Is it a sign of a bigger problem behind the scenes?
Could be.
And I'm not saying there's malcontents or anything, but Jade, there's a reason why we haven't seen back-to-back NFC champions since what? The Seahawks.
Yeah.
Right? And so I look at it as, and it's still way too early, but the momentum is not on the Niners' side. How do they change that before 2-3 becomes 4-7?
That's the question.
Something like that.
Because
you're not playing good teams, Jay. That's the thing. If you're losing to the great teams in the NFL, you know what? Chiefs got us. You're losing to Stafford, Kyler Murray. You're losing to what Rod Brooks says is trash. Trash, not a good football team. That's the issue I have with the San Francisco 49ers right now, is that you might be so cool, everything's fine, and it might be too late at some point. That's the question.
Week 9, week 10.
Week 9, week 10.
Week 9, the bye. Week 10. If they're not, somewhat close to healthy, no urgency, we continue to see these inconsistencies, then yeah, panic. I'm worried, not panicked. Two different things.
I'm looking at this schedule at Seahawks, home against Chiefs, home against Cowboys. At worst, you got to go 2-1.
Doable.
At worst, you got to go 2-1.
Doable.
Jay. All right, we'll continue this Niners conversation coming up tomorrow here on The Drive, guys. Coming up next here on Sacktown Sports 1140. Monday Night Football. That's right. Chiefs and their depleted squad going against the Saints. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to everybody on the